Hello, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long. I had COVID and I am just now starting to feel like a human being again. And it's been like 3 weeks. My face is still a tiny bit congested and I'm still a little bit tired, but the main bulk of me having COVID lasted about a week. And then the side effects and trying to want to do things again has been taking some time. So I'm sorry that it is taking me so long to get another video up. I'm just going to skip right to my end of the month stuff where I do my beginning of the month stuff, where I do my book haul and my wrap up. And hopefully you guys will understand that I didn't mean to be gone this long. I had plenty of things planned and none of them got done. So I have my pile of books here in November. In February, I read 8 books and I very much enjoyed most of them, all of them. I was a little disappointed at some, but not really. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do these as close to chronological as I can. No guarantees I'm going to do it correctly, but I will try. The first book that I read is Miss Sarah's new book, The House of Flame and Shadow, and I liked it. How do you describe this book to somebody who has not read it yet? There are 15 books in the whole saga, 15, 16, something like that, in the whole saga for her worlds. We got all the Throne of Glass, all the ACOTAR books, and then we have the Crescent City books. This is the third and most recent book that has been released. If you don't know that, I'm sorry. So I can't tell you synopsises because I was one of those people who did not know anything about these books going into them. So until January of this year, I didn't know anything about the actual Crescent City books, except for that Bryce was the lead female and Hunt was the lead male. But other than that, I didn't know anything. So I'm going to make this entirely spoiler free and just say that I was disappointed. It's still a 4-star book. I still love Sarah. I still love her worlds and her banter and all of those fun things that we come to Sarah for. But I was let down. I didn't have the visceral reactions that I normally do for her books. Normally I'm laughing, I'm crying, all of the things. And I felt like this book was kind of predictable. I've read every other book that she's written besides Catwoman, and that one is on my shelf. But this one just didn't. I feel like she felt a lot like Aelin to me. I feel like she went through a lot of the same stuff that Farrah did. I just feel like Sarah took her other protagonists and pulled things from them and put them in here. And that bothers me. So I definitely didn't love this one. I liked it. I had fun with it. Yes, I'll continue to read more, but I just didn't love it. So yeah, 4 stars. I still liked it. I'll still recommend it, but just know that I'm not the only one. Everyone I've seen has been a little let down by this book. So hopefully Miss Sarah gets her act together for the next one. All right, so the next book I read, I will put it here. It is called Mislaid Parts and Half Known. Yeah, I had to check. I had to put it on my phone so I would remember what it was. I was trying to do a TikTok with like a really brief overview of everything I read, and I could not remember the name of this book. I do not have it physically. I borrowed it from the library. I will put the cover here because guess what? This is YouTube and I know how to do that. TikTok, I'm still learning, especially the app itself. But I liked it a lot. It was kind of a filler book, but it was a good filler book. I enjoyed it. Was it my favorite? No. Was it my least favorite? Definitely no. Not even close. It was a good middle book. It was a good filler book. It was just didn't feel like, the stakes didn't feel as high as they did in every other one. It doesn't feel like the plot in this one was as important as the other ones. This one definitely felt like a sequel to the last book that was released. But I did enjoy it and I was looking forward to the next one. in a year. I think that's a good explanation of the last one I read. I'm trying to figure out if I need to say anything else. If you've never read the Every Heart a Doorway books, I don't want to really give anything away, but you know, it kind of closes up the book that happened before this. So portal fantasy, yes. Cozy portal fantasy, yes, okay. So the next book I read was My Plain Jane. This is the second book in the Jane Age trilogy. We have a Mary trilogy too, and I have 2 of those books. I don't know if there's any more than 2, but I have 2 of them. This one is about Jane Eyre, and I've never read the source material, so I don't know what exactly they changed, except for the fact that they made Charlotte Bronte a character when in reality she's the author of Jane Eyre. And so in this book, Charlotte knows Jane Eyre and they're friends, and she's writing the book about Jane in the book about Jane. The Janies are fun. They take something historical of some sort, and in this case they took Charlotte and they added her into Jane's story, and they just make it fun. They make them funny. They add a little bit of magic and special and flair to them, and they're cute. I gave this 4 stars. It's funny because this 4 stars is cute. I liked it. I'll definitely read the next one, whereas this 4 stars was a letdown. I think it has everything to do with what I was expecting out of it. I was expecting a 5-star out of Sarah, and this one I didn't know what to expect. So this is the second one in that group. I do have one more. I think it's Calamity Jane, and I will read that one too. These ones are cute. They're fun. They're little palette cleansers. The next book I read is Losers, part 1 by Harley LaRoe. Harley wrote this little prequel novella thing called The Dare, and then she has Losers 1 and 2. And I was really curious why they were labeled part 1 and part 2. Now I know. It's like she wrote a 1,200 page book and split it into 3 chunks. The Dare takes place before the stuff that happens here, but it is like almost a direct sequel. The very beginning of it, they give you like some context about what happened right after The Dare, and then they skip a couple of years and start Losers. And then where Losers leaves off is right in the middle of the story. So you really need the second one. I haven't started it yet, but I'm trying to finish a couple of other books. I needed a little bit of a palette cleanser. These are, I guess they would be considered dark romance, but they're not dark. They are BDSM heavy. She does have a ton of trigger warnings in the front, which I very much, this is her trigger warning list, which I very much appreciate, because last thing I want to do is go into something that I'm not ready for. There is a lot of amount of triggers in here, and then she even writes a note about the BDSM stuff that's in here, telling you to do your own research. Don't use this as a guide. But it does feel like she knows what she's talking about. Consent is really, really big in this, and it's consensual the entire way through. I really appreciate the fact that they constantly ask for consent. But I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I am looking forward to reading the second one. It's sitting upstairs waiting for me right now. And actually, it's not, it's right there. It's gonna be in my next book haul because I had to buy it. I originally borrowed this from my friend Nikki, and then I ended up buying her a new copy. I mean, not that I ding this one up. I mean, it looks fine, but I bent the corners and I wanted the books for myself anyways. So I went ahead and bought her a new copy and then bought myself number 2. A lot of fun. I definitely can't wait to read Losers 2, and I will definitely be reading more from Harley. All right, because it was February and because it was Black History Month, I wanted to try to make an effort to read some Black authors. These books were ones I already had planned out, one that came in the library, one that I had already started before the month of February hit, and I wanted to finish it. So this one was just I put it down to read the Sarah J. Maas books, and so I was just picking it up to finish it. This one was my audiobook. And so I had already started it in January and I wanted to finish it. And then of course the Shauna McGuire book, it was because it was a Shauna McGuire book. But I wanted to spend the bulk of my month trying to read Black authors. And so I have a couple. Literally I have 2 series here that I was working on this month. And I have another book that I just finished yesterday that I started after these ones. That was also from a Black author. But I am starting to realize that I haven't been reading super diverse. I have been reading a lot of LGBT, which this one is one of those. But I haven't been reading a ton of different ethnicities. And so I thought it'd be great to make the concerted effort to read some of the authors that I had on my shelves. These books I had, one of them I bought, but the rest of them, I had the books already. So I, have a variety of different ethnicities as well as some different disability rep, LGBT rep. And I wanted to make sure that I was reading more of those. And so I made it a little bit more of an effort to look through my shelves, figure out what I had that was written by Black authors and pick them up. And these were books that were either suggested to me or I found on some lists. And I was like, oh, I like these books. So I have these books. Let's go ahead and read them. Trust me, there's plenty more on my shelves. I just need to read them. Instead, I'm just reading what's new or whatever my library tells me is in stock. We're getting there. All right, so the first one I read was Poison Heart. And then it has a sequel called This Wicked Fate. I did have both books already. This one was my Owl Crate book. Yes, my Owl Crate book. It is signed. The colorway is a little bit different. It does have a pretty under the dust jacket as well as the back of the dust jacket. This book was a lot of fun. I don't know how much to say without giving things away. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. We have a main character named Bree who lives in Brooklyn and is adopted. She was adopted by a couple, 2 women who one goes by Mom, one goes by Mo, which I thought was awesome. This is the first time I've ever seen a Mo. My friend Ash is a Mo, and I know that it can be an alternative to Mom or it can be a non-binary version. It seems like in this book it is an alternative to Mom, so that way we don't have 2 moms, we have a Mom and a Mo. But in Ash's case, it is a non-binary alternative. This book has so much wonderful diversity in it. You have Black characters, you have some disability-ish. I mean, she thinks of it as a disability, but it's actually magic. So I don't know how you would describe that part. But you definitely have some LGBT in here. You have lesbian as well as bisexual. And I thought it was a beautiful book. It was wonderfully diverse, and I really appreciated that fact. But the story itself was amazing. Sometimes people put too much into a book and just to make it like check all the boxes, and then it sucks. That was not the case in this one. I am rambling, and I am very, very sorry. So this is about Bree, who lives in Brooklyn with her moms, and she's adopted. So her biological aunt passes away and leaves her in a state in like upstate. So she moves to this little town in upstate New York, I think is where it was. And she finds out more about her powers. As the book starts, she finds out that she can make plants grow. They're attracted to her. They like bend towards her. They want her attention. And when she gets to New York and gets to this old manor that her family has owned for a long time, she learns so much more. I don't want to tell you any more about the book though, because I feel like it would ruin some of the surprises. So we're gonna leave it there. And then this is the second one. This one picks up right where this one left off. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading more books by Caitlin. I know she wrote the books the Cinderella is Dead? Yeah, Cinderella is Dead books, and then I know she's got a couple more that I haven't read yet. I want to say that she's got a huge backlist, but I've only ever heard of a handful of them. So I'm gonna have to look more, but wonderful books. Writing was spectacular. It was so much fun. It was action from start to finish. There's a little bit of romance in it. There's a lot of good action scenes in it. It was just amazing books. Absolutely amazing. I also had another set on here. I did go to look to see if Owlcrate had this one. They did not. So I just have my normal one. But the other book that I read was Legendborn. I did get through both books, Legendborn and Bloodmarked. This one takes a few minutes to get into. It's kind of confusing when you first start it. There's something on my book. I don't know what it is. It takes a few minutes to get started. So again, this was an Owlcrate book. It has a signature and has front. I think this one was just kind of sad. I'm not sure if this was what I would call a good inside cover. It says this is your beginning, but whatever. It's signed. The colorway is slightly different. Anyways, this is another one of my Owlcrate books. But, so Nikki and I both started it. Nikki stopped reading it because she's in a massive book slump ever since reading Sarah J. Maas's book. So she didn't get going into it too much. She only got a couple chapters in and just wasn't feeling it. I started it and I was kind of in that same realm where I was a little unsure because it's really confusing. So you have the main character, and I've got another Bree. Okay, I was thinking that. I thought her name was Bree, and then I'm like, but her name is Bree. They're both named Bree. Anyways, okay. So, Bree got accepted to a program at the local college in North Carolina. I think it's North Carolina. She got accepted into this early program. So instead of finishing up high school, she's going to go into this completely different program where she's going to get college credits and live at the college, but still be a high school student too. So she's like 16 going into her junior year, and she'll do her junior and senior year at the college. Anyways, she got accepted to the program and her mom was not happy about it. Her mom told her no, that she couldn't go. And they got into this huge fight, and her mom left the house and got into a car accident and passed away. Right at the very beginning of the book. That's like the prologue of the book. And so where the book picks up is that she's in the college program and she still went. Even though her mom didn't want her to, her and her dad decided it was best for her to go, so she went into the program. Once she gets to school, really weird things start to happen. She starts to see stuff, and she's seeing things that she's not supposed to be seeing. And she's trying to figure out what's going on, what she's seeing. And as soon as, for all intents and purposes, they glamour her. I can't remember what the term they use is, but it's where they tried to make her forget what she saw. She went to this party and there was like a monster there, and they tried to wipe the monster from her memory. And when she remembered what they tried to wipe, she started remembering other things as well. And it made her wonder what happened to her mom, because her mom went to the same school, and there was something weird about one of the doctors that talked to her at the hospital that she was thinking maybe there's something going on. So she joins this club in order to learn more about her mom. And it kind of unfolds from there. It takes a minute to get into because it's really confusing, and there's so many little things. I know you're supposed to be confused because Bree's confused. She doesn't know what the heck is going on, so you as the reader don't know what's going on either. And I understand that, but it's really hard for me to read those types of books. So I just the audiobook was amazing, and so I just sat down with the audiobook and a game and started listening. And once I got past that threshold of having no clue what was going on, it all opened up, and it ended up being amazing. this book doesn't have that same feel that this one does, because this one just kind of picks up where this one left off, and it's just your action banging all the way through. I did not know there was a third book to this until I started the second book. And then Nikki goes, oh, by the way, they announced there was a third book, and they announced it a couple of months ago. Apparently, I don't pay good enough attention to the announcements of who's coming out with what. So I finished both of these books, and I have an indeterminate amount of time to wait for the next one. So she announced it in November that winter of 2025, we would have the third book. But she didn't specify if we were talking January, February winter, or if we're talking December winter. So I have anywhere from 1 to 2 years to wait for the next book. Let's hope it's January, February winter and not December winter. Because this one, of course, leaves off on a spot. You're like, no! But they're very, very good. I like them a lot. They are highly recommended. This one is also a Owlcrate one because I didn't have the second book and I was really, really wanting it. So I went on to Owlcrate to look to see if they had, since this is the first one, if they had the second one, and they did. And so this one just arrived and I'm really excited about it. The inside cover of this one is better. So we have, it even has a 2 on it, which I think is kind of cute. And then this is the inside. It's better. It's still just basically words, but I definitely think it's a step up from this is your beginning. And then this one is also signed, but this one is not signed full name. It's just initials. I don't know if that's something that she just changed or if she got tired of signing stuff. But yeah, the next one will come out sometime in the 2025s. So hopefully it's the January sign. And then I can finish it. But they were really good. I really, really liked it. And then the last book that I read, I didn't finish until yesterday, and today is the 4th. So it is going to be in the March wrap up, not the February wrap up, but it is a Kennedy Ryan book. So I was sticking with the Black authors for February, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. I'll tell you more about it next month, and hopefully I'll have my copy by then because I listened to it on my library app. But that's it. 8 books in a month that I was sick half the time, I think is a definite decent start to the year. I think I'm up to 16 now. And I hope you enjoyed this. I do have a couple other videos that I am working on, and I will hopefully have some more stuff for you this month. I want to get back into regularly making videos for you guys, and now that I'm feeling better, I should have enough energy to do so. So look out for my book haul because that will be coming soon. And then we will start working on some new videos because I haven't posted anything new in a while and I miss you guys. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.